coming into this championship game. You know, you have the #1 offense in Northwood and the #1 defense in Malone. It's just such a great matchup we have.
These two teams are coming in playing really good basketball. Northwood has won 15 straight. Malone has won 9 straight, I believe, coming into today. And it's going to be a contrasting styles, like you mentioned, offense, defense. It's been a couple of different paths to get to this championship game today. For Northwood, while Ashland and Walsh have battled them, ultimately they've essentially led for over 90% of the games the last 2 weeks and the last 2 games. And Ashland got within 5 in the last 45 seconds of the game, but that's the closest any team has gotten to them in the third quarter and on. For Malone, it's been a couple of battles. They were down by 15 at halftime against Kentucky Wesleyan and then had to make 2 free throws with 5 seconds left by Bryn Hunt to actually get the win against Findlay. So you could argue those either way. Northwood's coming in theoretically playing better, but Malone's much more battle-tested coming in this game, so should be interesting.
Yeah, Leah Holmes coming off of such a dominant performance, a career-high 30 points, shooting 64% from the floor, and was perfect from the stripe. Just a fantastic game from her. I believe she's now 8 points away.
8 points away from 1,000 as a sophomore season.
Yeah. Remarkable player, and excited to see what that matchup down low will look against Erin Kaufman and Leah Holmes this afternoon.
Erin Kaufman has been a dominant player in the GMAC for 4 years now, and she got her 1,000th rebound last night in the win against Findlay. It should be a real interesting matchup. Like we said, these two teams have met twice this year. Northwood won both times. Second time, Malone threw a box and one at Northwood and basically said that anybody but maybe St. John is going to beat us, and they almost pulled it off, and it wasn't for a late run by Northwood. Malone would have probably won that game. 52-46 was that final. The old adage is it's hard to beat a team 3 times. Well, for Northwood to take this championship this year, they're going to have to beat 3 teams 3 times to get to the title. We'll take a timeout here. We'll come back in a few moments and have your starting lineups and get this game going. Welcome to the GMAC Championship right here on Flo College.
In every generation,
Good afternoon. Welcome to Northwood University 2026 Great Midwest Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Tournament Championship. This tournament caps another terrific regular season of competition in the Great Midwest.
No, not today.
Okay, this is on.
Celebrate this year's basketball championship. The Great Midwest is committed to embracing the NCAA Division II commitment to a positive game environment.
I'm going to wait till that ad break ends and see if that's...
By student athletes, coaches, and spectators. Profanity, racial or ethnic comments, or other intimidating actions directed at any game participants will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. Also, consumption or possession of alcoholic beverages is prohibited. Thank you for your support of Great.
Can you read that? I can barely see the red.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats.
We're back just as we expected here at Northwood. We will have the national anthem at this time. Like we mentioned here, these two teams have met 3 times. This will be the 3rd time this season. They know each other exceptionally well because even with a game, the 1 year where they only played once, this is the 8th time in the last 4 years they've played. This is the 2nd time they played each other 3 times in the season since Northwood has joined the GMAC. Northwood leads the Ultimate Series 9-5. Northwood won the first 4, Malone won the next 3, and Northwood has won the last 5 after alternating back and forth. Northwood is 5-3 in league play, which, if you do the math, as members of the GMACs, Northwood lost the first 3, has won the last 5, and then the 2 meetings this year. 73-54, Northwood won here in Midland. 52-46 at Malone. So, having said that, let's meet the starting lineups for today's game. First for the Malone Pioneers, coached by Selena Ikas in her 8th year, 143-95 overall. This is a record-breaking year for both teams. Both teams have their best record in school history. Both of them enter play today at 25-5. Malone starts Irene Maroto, a junior guard from Valencia, Spain. Number 12 is Elena Oliver, a junior forward from Lima, Ohio, Bath High School. Number 23, Bryn Hunt. She was the star yesterday, led them in scoring, made a couple of big free throws at the end. Physically, she looks like she is banged up. We will see how effective she is today. She looked like she could barely limp around after the game last night. You never know how a night of sleep will treat you, so hopefully for her and the Pioneers, she's okay. She had a game-high 17 points yesterday in the win and the 2 free throws, the 5 seconds left to get them the win. Number 24, Anna Krupa, a senior guard from Fraysburg, Ohio, Tri-Valley High School, and of course their star, Aaron Kaufman, the center, 6'1", from Gandalf, Ohio, Ottawa, Gandalf. For Northwood, Lexi Bowers, 2nd team All-GMAC this year, junior guard from Kent City, Michigan. Number 8 is Grace Eisenhath, a redshirt sophomore from Hazlet, Michigan. Number 12, Alexa Kolnitis, a senior guard from Midland, Michigan, right here. Dow High School, transfer from Davenport University. Number 13 is the GMAC Player of the Year, Maeve St. John, a senior guard from Howell, Michigan. And your center is number 22, Leah Holmes, 1st team All-GMAC, off a 30-point game yesterday. If the tournament ended today, she would be the tournament MVP. We're ready to go here. Championship day is underway. Northwood wins the tip. This is going to be a contrast in styles. And in the corner, Bowers gets a wide-open 3 to start the game. It's no good. Rebound is tracked down by the Pioneers. It's Hunt.
It's pretty much the only look that you want from Leah Holmes. Lexi Bowers in the corner, wide open for 3. One of their best 3-point shooters on this team. She averages about 2 a game.
Drive to the basket off the side of the backboard is no good for Oliver. Rebound goes to the Timberwolves, to Eisenhath. Northwood is going to want to run and run and run. As St. John gets in the paint and finishes for the first 2 of the game.
Coast to coast, something that she does almost every single game.
Long feet ahead, caught by Kaufman, going to the basket. Tough shot, lefty, layup is good.
Kaufman always shown, like you mentioned yesterday, Mount Rushmore of the GMAC.
Yep, and then back the other way, Lexi Bowers gets the lay-in. We mentioned that these are 2 teams that play vastly different styles. There's a trap in the backcourt. It's going to be a jump ball possession arrow. Will stay with Malone. Well, just to show the contrast between these 2 teams, Northwood at halftime yesterday had 59 points. Malone won game 2 with 57 points. They both had 57. Oh, they're going to change the call. So what it is that it was going to be a jump ball, but the officials looked up and they see 20 on the clock. So it's a 10-second backcourt violation. So they're going to take away the jump ball. So Malone will keep the possession arrow, but they'll keep the 10-second. They will keep the possession arrow after the jump ball, but Northwood will get the ball because it's a 10-second count. Kolnitis inside to Holmes, her first touch of the game. Going to work to the rim, lays it up and in.
That was all we saw from her in the semifinal.
It'll be interesting to see who they have her guard. That time it was Hunt that guarded her, and Hunt's pass is deflected, but Maroto tracks it down. Here comes Malone the other way. Krupa on the wing, Hunt. She did this all day yesterday. This one's up and no good. Rebound to Kolnitis. Kolnitis to St. John. Northwood again running the floor. St. John gets in the paint, goes to the rim, puts it up, and it's out of bounds. It goes back to Malone. Maeve took off for that shot and realized she had nowhere to go and kind of flung it up there, hoping for a miss of some sort to get her own rebound. But by the time the loose ball was tracked down, she was standing on the sideline. 6-2 Northwood.
So despite Malone's daunting defense, Northwood has shown this full court pressure all season long, and that is exactly how they have done all season.
Kolnitis to the basket, lefty layup, no, but Eisenhart's running the floor. She misses the tip. Now it's tracked down by Maeve St. John. St. John will settle things down. Now it's Holmes going to work against Kaufman. The two superstar post players in the paint. Holmes sticks with it, good on the foul. Leah Holmes stuck with it after the deflection from Aaron Kaufman. She picks up the loose ball. She'll go to the line and try and complete the three-point play.
We've talked about this time and time again, but it is almost impossible to believe that Leah Holmes is having a quote-unquote not as good as the year as she did last year, and yet she is playing fantastic basketball.
You know, I've been talking about this recently with others too. It's not even that she's quote-unquote off this year. It's that Maeve just has exploded so much.
Yes.
All of her numbers essentially are up across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's nearing 1,000 points for her career in just her sophomore year. 9-2 Northwood. Here's Oliver. Here's Morodo. Morodo up top to her left. Goes the basket. Tough little layup. In and out, no good. Kaufman tips the rebound. Falls in the hands of Morodo. Second chance here. Hunt up top. Back to Morodo. Inside Oliver to the basket. Hook shot is up and good. Elena Oliver with her first two of the game. 9-4 Northwood. Now Holmes on the baseline. Face-up jumper is no good. Rebound to Kaufman. Armstrong got big minutes down the stretch last night. Inside, here's Oliver backing down against Eisenhath. Nice move, specs back to her right. Shot is up and no good. Eisenhath and Holmes looked at each other to grab the rebound, but Eisenhath eventually tracks it down. St. John going to the basket. Lefty layup, no, but she's fouled. Well, right now, the pace is certainly at a Northwood pace. This is how fast the Timberwolves want to play this game. And so far, they're up 9-4. The first of many big groups of subs for Northwood today, as St. John is the only player who will stay on the floor. As Savannah Fellenbaum, Ella Miller, Taryn Jackson, and Kari Kiefer all check in for Northwood.
Yeah, Northwood's main goal pretty much coming into this game is controlling tempo. Malone mostly looking into this game to just compete for 40 minutes, disrupt rhythm, and take advantage of scoring opportunities.
St. John at 90% for the year from the foul line. She takes and makes way more than pretty much any player in the league. Makes them both 11-7. The nice thing for both of these teams, this is not an elimination game. These two teams are both solidly in the NCAA tournament. Mm-hmm. In fact, there's a very strong chance that they could be right back against each other, as a deep three on the wing is up and no good for Morodo. Rebound to the Timberwolves. St. John. St. John aggressively looking to score early on. Miller tries to throw it inside. Not a good pass, but unfortunately for the Pioneers, Randulik lost track of where she was and stepped out of bounds. That was not a good pass by Ella Miller, and Randulik didn't have real good awareness there because she had plenty of room to come down and keep going down the floor.
The idea was there, but Fellenbaum was not ready to receive that pass.
And that's a tough angle with the two players around her, too. Here's St. John. Kicks it out to Jackson. Good look at a three. Back-to-back iron, no. Long rebound falls into the hands of Oliver for the Pioneers. Here's Oliver on the wing. She goes up top. This is Armstrong. Inside, Kaufman faces the basket. Shot is up and no good. Rebound to Fellenbaum for Northwood. St. John the other way. Thought about a three. Goes inside. Now St. John goes to the basket. Good hands that time, and a steal by Armstrong. Armstrong the other way, but it's stolen right back by St. John. St. John with a long feed. What a pass to Kari Kiefer, who lays it in. That was like an NFL quarterback leading the receiver.
I was literally just about to say that was a quarterback throwing to their wide receiver.
Hunt's going to go to the basket. Tough shot. No. Foul on the rebound on Fellenbaum, I think, trying to keep Kaufman out of the paint there, and it is.
That's something that's not easy to do, is keep Kaufman off the boards.
Yes.
One of the best rebounders in the GMAC.
Yeah, we mentioned she got her 1,000th rebound of her career in the win over Findlay last night. 13-4, Northwood on top. Northwood got off to a great start in the first quarter yesterday, and they're off to a good start today with a 9-point early lead. But we also saw that as Walsh fell behind by as many as 32, they got back to within 11. So, and this is obviously a Malone team that has actually, frankly, gotten off to slow starts this whole tournament. They were down by 15 at halftime against Wesleyan. Here's Kaufman. Spins back to right. Nice footwork, but she misses the layup. That's a shot she's probably made 100 times in her career, but that time it just didn't fall. Here comes Kate Stemmer, who's checked in. Now back inside to Holmes. Holmes back to Jackson. Extra pass to Kiefer. Now in the corner, Ella Miller. Thought about the three. Now will take the three after losing the defenders off the back iron. No. Rebound to Hunt. Bryn Hunt with the rebound, and she'll walk it over the line. In the corner, Armstrong. Thought about the three. Now goes up top to Barber. Barber on the wing to Randulik. Randulik inside Hunt. Thought about the face-up jump basket. Now goes the left leaner is good. Not an easy shot from Bryn Hunt. Fading on the wrong way off the left foot with Leah Holmes in your face. Tough shot. Credit to Hunt. It's 13-6. Speaking of Holmes, here she is going to her right to the basket. Knocked away. Good help side defense that time from Armstrong. Prevented what was certain to be a layup for Northwood. Timeout on the floor. We will take it as well. 13-6, Northwood leading Malone. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching the GMAC Championship on Flow College.
On the second team from Malone, Elena Oliver. From Northwood, Lexi Bauer. For the first team from Malone, Erin Kaufman. From Northwood, Leah Holmes and May St. John. The coach of the year from Northwood, Autumn Hunter. And the player of the year from Northwood, May St. John. Congratulations to this year's award recipients. The complete all-conference selections can be found on GreatMidwestSports.com along with all tournament updates.
Inbounds goes to Ella Miller. She's in the paint, needs some out, finds Bowers. Bowers trying to go to work in the paint. Tough shot off of the glass, no good. That's not what we see Lexi Bowers doing very often, essentially posting up. She's a three-point shooter. That one's no good. Rebound to Oliver. Up top now, Randulik. Randulik, Kaufman, free throw line extended, goes to the basket. Foul on the drive on Ella Miller. That's Miller's first, second on the team. Eisenath will take Miller's spot on the floor. And it'll be Kaufman to go to the foul line for two shots.
One of the best free throw shooters in the league.
84% she makes the first. She'll have one more. Kaufman's second one is no good off the back iron, but the long rebound, not a good box out there by Holmes. Barber gets the ball, puts up a tough shot in the paint, no good. Holmes grabs this rebound. Holmes will give it to St. John, awkwardly, but effectively in the end. St. John, crossover dribble. Now looking to go to Holmes. Now Holmes has it. Facing the basket, dribbling down. Double team comes late, and there's a foul with the body on Oliver, trying to keep Holmes out of the paint.
You saw Erin Kaufman start to sneak in a little bit to provide a little bit of pressure on that double team on Leah Holmes.
You never quite know what the kind of double team action we're going to see from teams, and right now it's been a little bit of a catch and let her make the move. We've seen catch right as soon as she gets the ball, like now. Holmes, Kolnitis thought about the three, goes around the rim. In the corner, Eisenhat's got a good look at a three. No. Northwood now 0 for 4 from 3. It's a key for any team to beat Northwood is they got to miss some shots. And Northwood's had 4 good looks at 3, and they missed them all so far. Northwood falls back in the zone. They lead by 6, 13-7. Armstrong. Inside, high, low. Somebody missed an assignment. Good feed inside to Oliver for the lay-in. St. John gets the inbound, and it's 13-9. So that's 5 straight for Malone after falling behind by 9. It's now 13-9. St. John in the corner to Bowers. Bowers drives baseline. Tries to go back to Kolnitis, deflected out of bounds. Would remain Northwood ball. Malone has certainly settled into the game after that fast start for Northwood, and also Northwood hasn't had a field goal in a little bit here. That fast break pass to Kari Kiefer was just about 3 minutes ago, and that's their last field goal. And now a bad pass on the entry feed. Goes through the hands of Eisenath, and it's a turnover for Northwood, their second of the game.
It was a good look, just a little too high.
In the paint, little shot is up and no good. Offensive rebound, and it's a jump ball, and that's where that that 10-second violation actually comes back and helps Malone here. They get to keep the possession on that jump ball. Hunt will return for the Pioneers. She will take Barber's spot. Northwood's 5 for 14 from the floor. Malone 4 for 14. Long inbounds goes to Barber. She's going to step back and shoot a 3. And wow, that almost went in. And then but the rebound falls. What an unusual looking shot there. Miller fired the 3 and it crouched on the rim and kind of laid there for a second and threw the timing off of the whole play. And then an offensive rebound opportunity unfolded and it went off of the Timberwolves. It'll remain Malone ball. Here's Miller. Miller up top to Rain Dulick. Northwood man-to-man this time. Tough drive to the basket. Little floater is up and good for Rain Dulick.
What a move. Spin moves are not easy when you're moving fast. She made that look easy.
7 straight for the Pioneers. Northwood and 1! They're going to count the basket. St. John with the drive, and she finishes, and she'll go to the line to try and complete the 3-point play.
And a response by none other than
Ayla Miller gets the foul. Armstrong gets the foul, excuse me. The Malone bench and fans are not happy with the continuation there. It was, if it's any sooner, it's no doubt it's on the floor. If it's any later, no doubt it's a free throw. Right on the border. Northwood got the benefit of the doubt right there. And it is a and 1 for St. John. She now has 7 points. She leads all scorers. 16-11 Northwood, 1:53 to go in the first. Randulik. Northwood setting up the pressure here. Morodo with it. Cross court back. Good job breaking the pressure for Hunt. Hunt now. We've seen Hunt the last 2 days. She is not afraid. If she has a millisecond, she's going to fire. Extra ball pass in the corner now. Barber in the corner to Hunt. Up top, Morodo. Now Hunt on the wing for 3. Good! She shot it well the last 2 days, and Hunt with her first triple a day. 16-14. St. John. Bowers to respond. Near an air ball. Tipped out of bounds. It's going to go to Malone. That's the first 3 of the game for either side that time for Hunt. 1:16 to go in the quarter. McNeely comes in for the first time today. Takes Bowers' spot. Stemmer returns and takes St. John's spot. Randulik over the line. Here's Hunt. Kaufman. Thought about the 3, now dribbles to her right. 33 on 33 here, going against Miller. Kaufman loses the ball on the floor. Picks up the dribble, now in the corner. This is Bruce. Bruce to her left. Gets in the paint. Step through. Tough shot. Blocked from behind by Ella Miller.
Great help side defense.
2
Ella
points.
Miller just saw Carrie Kiefer get beat just a little bit.
Yep, in the right spot, the right time. Northwood in man that time. You don't see them do that very often, but they were in this situation. 2.6 on the clock. Morodo will inbound. Not a lot of time here for the Pioneers. They lob it into Kaufman, gets a hook shot up, off the front iron, no, into the hands of Kari Kiefer. Pretty decent look as the clock is winding down. Kiefer now with it. Miller inside. Eisenath, and then there's a foul on Hunt with the body. Holmes will check in and take Miller's spot. That is the 5th team foul on Malone, so it's 2 free throws for Eisenhath here. Eisenhath is 78% from the foul line this season, 21 of 27. First one is up off the back iron, no good. First miss of the game for Northwood at the foul line. They're now 4 of 5. Eisenhath will have one more. Good. Fellenbaum will take Eisenhath's spot. 35.1 seconds remaining in the quarter. So, not a math major, but that's a 5.1 second differential between the shot clock and the game clock right now. Here's Morodo. Randulik. Kaufman spins back to her left in the paint. Tough shot. No good. Rebound to Kari Kiefer. Northwood can hold for the final shot here. Kiefer to Stemmer. Stemmer back to Kiefer. She's wide open. 3 ball on the way. No. Stemmer with the offensive rebound. Misses the putback. Gets her own rebound again. Makes it at the buzzer. Kate Stemmer with a field goal as time winds down. Northwood on top by 5 after 1, 19-14. We'll be back in a moment. You are watching the GMAC Women's Basketball Championship on Flo College. We're back here in Midland. Northwood leading Malone 19-14 after 1 quarter. Northwood 7 of 19 from the floor, 0 for 6 from 3, 5 of 6 from the foul line. Malone 6 of 20 from the floor, 1 of 4 from 3-point range, 1 of 2 from the foul line. St. John gets the inbound. Here's McNeely. McNeely, Fellenbaum, inside to Holmes, facing the basket, spins back to her left. Lefty layup is good. She's good on both ends, but if she faces the basket in that situation, she's so good with either hand, it's going to be really tough to defend that.
Yep.
21-14, passes deflected and stolen. Kari Kiefer got her fingertips on it. And St. John picked up the loose ball. Kiefer, back to St. John. To Kiefer, looking inside for Holmes. Kiefer now crossover dribble. Tries to go back to Holmes. Telegraphed that pass way too easily, and Kaufman read it beautifully and goes back the other way. That was a drive where she made this as Morodo, wild shot in the paint, way off, rebound to Kiefer. Kiefer made the decision she was going to drive here, jump, and throw that pass, but Kaufman's pretty smart and saw that the whole way. Now Holmes with the ball. In the paint, step through, left hand, layup is good! Holmes now with the 22nd player in school history with 1,000 points. Fastest to ever do it in just 2 years.
Incredible.
And now it's a 9-point Northwood lead. Matches their biggest of the game. Hunt in the corner. In the post, Oliver going to work on Fellenbaum. Hook shot in the paint is up, off the back iron, no good. Rebound tipped around, out of bounds. It'll remain Malone ball. A couple bodies down on the floor there. Everybody looks okay. Bowers and Kolnitis return for Northwood, while Armstrong and Miller return for the Pioneers. Morodo and Hunt are out for Malone. Kiefer and McNeely are out for Northwood, and the subs keep flowing in as Fellenbaum and Hunt and Holmes come out, and Eisenhath and Miller come back in. Again, Northwood subs frequently, particularly in these first 3 quarters. Here's Kaufman backing down. Goes back up top to Krupa. Krupa picks up the loose ball. Tries to go back into Kaufman. Good catch by Kaufman. Inside, nice feed, nice finish, and the foul! Kaufman somehow got that pass inside to Oliver. Oliver finished at the rim. She'll go to the line and try and complete the 3-point play. It wasn't the prettiest looking possession for the most part, but in the end.
Yeah, just when you think that they were getting stuck outside the 3-point line, they found a way.
And that was a really good pass from Kaufman inside. Oliver finished amongst the traffic. She misses the free throw, however. The lead remains 7, 23-16, 8:15 to go in the second period. St. John gets a screen. Kolnitis. Kolnitis in the corner to Miller. Miller back to Kolnitis. Kolnitis puts it on the floor. Goes to the rim. Steps through, puts it up off the glass. No. Gets her own rebound. Loses the handle. Probably could have been a foul on Kolnitis lowering the shoulder. Probably could have been a foul on the rebound. And then there's a turnover on. That was on Armstrong trying to throw the length of the floor up the court. She was trying to get it up ahead to Krupa, but Krupa was not looking, and it goes out of bounds.
We've seen that lowering of the shoulder a couple times, and pretty much every other time it's either called or it isn't called.
Yeah. They've kind of let it go so far. St. John splits the double team, gets in the paint, inside to Eisenhath. Eisenhath in the corner to Bowers. Bowers. Back to St. John. St. John, Miller was open but did not have an angle to get it to her. Now St. John's going to go to work. Crossover dribble. Gets in the paint, a little scoop shot off the glass, way off. They're letting them play today, folks. Rebound to the Pioneers, which is the way it should be in a championship game, undoubtedly. Baseline goes to Miller. Bad pass. It's kicked. It'll remain Malone ball. Holmes will return and take Eisenhath's spot. I think Autumn, I don't like to speculate as to what Autumn Hunter was saying right there. I think Autumn was probably telling Grace that you got to go score there. She caught the ball in a good spot down here and immediately was looking to pass, and which is what the Northwood posts are good at, being very unselfish, but at times.
You have to be selfish.
Especially Ella Miller at times, will turn down shots to try and pass their teammates. Kaufman in the corner is going to shoot the face up. Jumper, knock it down.
Such a versatile player. Can score from inside, can score from outside.
Kaufman now with 5. Here's Bowers. Gets it into Holmes. Holmes going to work. Double team comes. Kicks it over to Stemmer. Bad pass, but Stemmer tracks it down. Stemmer gets on the floor. Miller, she'll shoot a 3. This one's an air ball right into the hands of Bowers, who misses the layup. Kolnitis gets the rebound. Back to Miller, who's going to go to the rim and lay it in.
There was a lot of open space in the paint. I think Malone thought that they had the rebound and kind of gave up just way too much room.
Yep. Not a lot of outside shooting in this game. The teams are now 1 for 11. Hunt made the only 3 of the game for Malone. Northwood 1 of 7. Malone 1 of 4. 0 of 7, 1 of 4. Here's Kaufman facing up again. She's going to turn and shoot again. This one's no good, however. Rebound to Ella Miller for Northwood. 7-point Northwood lead. Timberwolves have led by as many as 9 and have never trailed in this game thus far. Inside to Leah Holmes. Spins baseline. Comes back, up, under, and it's a travel.
It was a good move, right to the basket.
Yeah.
It's what she usually does every single time, except she got a little bit too far underneath the basket.
Yeah, when she picked up her dribble, she was directly under the rim. Good call there, Mac. And I will say, we've seen lots of move to the basket for all the inside post players. Again, they are letting them play.
Yes, they
There's
are.
a lot of contact, and again, I think that's the way it should be. There's only been 1 foul called in the first 4 minutes of this quarter, so inside, a little late on the recovery is Lexi Bowers. And she got the reach and foul, which is a Good foul for Lexi there, because if she doesn't commit that foul, that's almost certainly a layup for Kaufman. Hunt returns. She will take Miller's spot. 25-17, 5:55 to go in the second. Like we mentioned, Malone has been here before. They have had two major battles, and they trailed by 15 at halftime at home in the opening round at home to Wesleyan. So 7-point deficit for them is no big deal at this point, that's for sure. Here's Hunt. Up top to Armstrong. Inside to Kaufman, facing the basket again. Now she goes to her left, pulls up in the paint. No good. Rebound to Ella Miller.
Ella Miller has done a pretty good job on Kaufman, making her force her to shoot those outside perimeter shots.
She's now 2 for 8 from the floor in this game. Inside, here's Leah Holmes. Holmes going against Kaufman. Gets her pocket pick, but it falls into the hands of Kiefer with 5 on the clock. 4 on the clock. Kiefer going to the basket, loses the handle. Good hands that time. Hunt got her fingertips on it, created the steal. And now here comes Malone back the other way. We're going to go under 5 in a moment here. In the corner, 3 ball up. That's going to be an air ball way up, but right into the hands of Kaufman, who laid it in.
Nobody there to rebound her.
Randulik shot that one so far that it actually fell right into the hands. St. John goes to the basket. Floater is up off the glass and good. 27-20. Northwood by 7. St. John now matches Holmes with 9. 3 ball on the way is up and no good off the side iron. Rebounds tipped around, tracked down by Maeve St. John. It was a decent look that time for Armstrong. But again, it's been bad 3-point shooting thus far. St. John to Holmes. Faces up inside to Miller. Spins to her left, goes to the basket, lays it in. If they're going to go attack Maeve St. John, Ella Miller has to go try and score, and she did right there, because she basically had a small player in the paint by herself.
Yep, that mismatch. So easy for a post to take on a guard in the paint. So smart of Leah Holmes to recognize that mismatch.
Hunt thought that pass to Kaufman was going to be there. It wasn't. Ella Miller with the steal. Here's St. John. Northwood matched their biggest lead. St. John to the basket, lays it in. It's the first double-digit lead of the game. St. John in double figures with 11. Northwood on top by 11. Timeout on the floor. We'll take it as well. 3:50 to go in the second. Northwood by 11. You're watching the GMAC Tournament Championship on Flo College. Uh-oh. Okay. I need to go here.
Fans, let's take a moment to recognize Legend Rings, the official championship ring supplier of the Great Midwest Athletic Conference. With their commitment to quality and craftsmanship, Legend Rings helps commemorate the hard work, dedication, and success of our student athletes. We thank Legend Rings for their partnership and for making every championship moment unforgettable. To learn more about Legend Rings, visit legendrings.com.
Well, folks, we seem to be having issues with our score bot again. I'd like to thank Krista for texting me that. I don't know what the problem is. It seems to just not want to be working right now. So we're going to try and manually do some of this stuff between myself and Mac here. We're going to take the clock off until we can get that figured out right now. But anyway. So, Mac, those are your buttons, and those are their buttons, and between the two of us, if there's a basket, one of us has got to hit the button until halftime, and then we'll try to make some adjustments here.
Sounds good.
31-20, Northwood leading, 3:45 to go. The Pioneers break the pressure. Morodo goes to the basket in the corner to Hunt. Up top now, Randulik. Randulik hands off to Barber. Morodo going to the basket, drives underneath the rim. Now kicks it on the wing to Barber. Barber to Morodo, 3 on the clock. Now to Miller. She's going to have to shoot a 3. She doesn't know the shot clock's winding down. Shot clock violation. Good atmosphere in here today. The Malone bench was chanting the clock winding down, but it just was not going to go in. Get the shot up, and it's a shot clock violation. St. John into Holmes. Holmes faces the rim. Travel. Dave Marsh and Krista Plummer trying to help me with that scoreboard. I do appreciate letting me know that's not working, and it's apparently an issue for Luke Starkey as well, because he's trying to do the stats with that same device, and he's having issues too. So we are aware, and we're going to try and do our best to keep this going. Long feet ahead. Baseline drive now to the basket. Tough shot, no good. That time by Barber. Rebound to Jackson for Northwood. Jackson now has it in transition. Inside to Eisenath. In the corner, McNeely's wide open for 3. Good! First 3 of the game for Northwood. Good job back on the scoreboard, 34-20.
McNeely was wide open for 3. We saw her have a stronger role last season, so good for her to get back into it and be a primarily three-point shooter for this Northwood offense.
First 3 of the game for Northwood. Coffin faces the basket, goes to her left. Nice feed inside. The layup is missed, however, by Barber. Now Northwood with 2:16 to go in the period have a 14-point lead. St. John in the corner gets catch by Eisenath. Faces the basket. Shot is up. No good off the back iron. Rebound to Miller. 9-0 run for Northwood here. Allowed them to open up a 14-point lead. Miller. Miller in the corner. Barber. Coffin faces the basket. Wide open for 3. No good for Morodo. Oh, excuse me, that was Moran Dulick. Oddly enough, from that angle, that 10 looked like a 0, but it is a 10. Here's St. John with it. Corner, Eisenath goes to the basket, puts it up, no, but she's fouled. This is what Malone did the last time these two teams played. It was in Canton when they played. They basically were blitzing Maeve St. John, kind of boxing, running her. And Northwood wasn't ready for it. Today they looked much more prepared that time. And
yes.
St. John knew as soon as that came that somebody was going to be open, saw it was Eisenath, and Eisenath's going to get 2 free throws out of it.
Yep.
1:34 to go in the half. Armstrong will return for the Pioneers and take Morodo's spot. Free throw is up and good. Eisenath now with 2 points. She has a game-high 5 rebounds, however. Second one, good. 16-point Northwood lead. Again, this is where Malone was essentially the whole time when they played Wesleyan in the first round. They were down by 15 at halftime, but I do think this is an important final 125 for Malone. Try and cut into this lead a little bit. High-low actually gets it inside to Miller. Miller just can't quite get it off cleanly and leads to a missed shot. Oh, that should have been 2 for Malone every time, but that time, good play that time by Krupa. Colnitis had no idea she's there. Trying a 3 on the wing is up and no good, and it's going to be a foul. We've seen that foul a lot, particularly this weekend, but this year, Ella Miller was boxing out, but you have to make an effort to try and get the rebound instead of just keep boxing out.
Or else they will call it.
They will call it, and that's Miller's second foul. So Holmes will check back in, as will Kate Stemmer. Many times Coach Hunter will take St. John out late in a half to avoid. She's got 1 foul. Don't want her to pick up that second foul for any particular reason, especially when you got a 16-point lead here. Extra pass now. Armstrong going to her left. Now back to her right. Loses. Nice feed inside. Layup is up and good that time for Oliver. Lost Stemmer on the foul down.
Yep.
And Oliver finished at the rim. 36-22. About a 10-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Colnitis actually brings the ball over the line this time. Colnitis to Holmes. Stemmer in the corner has got a good look at a 3. Long. Kate does not shoot a lot of 3s. Hunt will check back in for the Pioneers and will take Krupa's spot. 36-22, 25.7 seconds remaining. So theoretically, this should be the last shot for Malone here. Armstrong runs it over the line. 14 on the clock. 13. Here's Oliver. Oliver to her right. Gets a high ball screen. Now 6 on the clock. 5. Armstrong going to have to force it. Good pass inside. Shot at the buzzer is good. Good execution. And Oliver, not an easy shot at the buzzer, but she gets it to fall. And Malone scored the final 4 points to cut the lead to 12 at the break. 36-24 at halftime. We'll take a bit of an extended timeout here. See if we can get that scoreboard issue resolved. Take a look at the stats. See what's going on in that men's game today, the championship game, and some other scores from around the region. Today is semifinal day in the GLBC and the GLIAC. It's championship day here in the GMAC. 36-24 is your halftime score. We will take a timeout. You're watching GMAC basketball on Flo College.
Northwood 14 of 32, 44% from the three-point line. Malone 1 of 8, 13%. Northwood 1 of 9, 11% from the free throw line. Malone.
We are back here in Midland. 36-24, Northwood leading Malone at the break. Let's take a look at the halftime stats. Malone, 30.6%. Almost shot the same percentage in each quarter. 6 of 20 in the first quarter for 30%. 5 of 16 in the second quarter for 31%. 1 of 8 from three-point range. This is not going to be, no one's going to confuse anyone with Steph Curry in this game thus far. As the Pioneers are 1 for 8 from 3. Northwood is 1 for 9. Free throw line, 1 for 3 for Malone. Northwood is 7 of 8. Leading the way, Oliver, 10 points, 5 of 9 from the floor, including that last shot right at the buzzer. Kaufman had 7. She had to work for it, though. 3 of 9 from the floor, 3 rebounds, Kaufman and Miller with 3 rebounds each for Malone. Hunt with 5, Randulic with 2, but that is it. So Morodo, Krupa, Barber, Miller, Armstrong, and Bruce all played, did not score, and are a combined 0 for 10 from the floor. So sure, the Pioneers are going to need somebody in that group to step up and provide a little bit more offense for Malone. For Northwood, they finished at 3.8%. They were 36% in the first quarter. Oddly enough, they were higher percentage in the second quarter, much higher, 53.8%, but actually scored fewer points, 19 to 17. We mentioned they were 1 for 9 from 3. McNeely off the bench made the only 3 of the half for either side for Northwood. 7 of 8 from the foul line. The 2 stars for the Timberwolves, the GMAC Player of the Year in Maeve St. John. She's got 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Leah Holmes has 9 points. They're combined for 8 for 11 from the floor. But we talk about the supporting crew. The supporting crew at Northwood isn't scoring tons of points, but there's a lot of people that are getting points. Look at this list. You've got Ella Miller with 4, McNeely with 3, Eisenhath with 3, Bowers with 2, and Stemmer with 2 points each for Northwood. Kolnitis, Fellenbaum, and Jackson have all played but did not score. Looking at the specialty stats, all pretty similar. Northwood out rebounded Malone 24 to 19. That only result, but Northwood actually trails in second chance points 10 to 7. Points off turnovers 9 to 4 in favor of Northwood. Fast break points, only Northwood has 4-0. So in that sense, the tempo was Northwood had 16 fast break points last night. So they're obviously trying to get out and run. So for them so Malone did a decent job there, but overall 36-24 in MAC. I think for Malone, we saw Northwood yesterday in the second half kind of struggle offensively against Walsh. And Malone's got a tremendous defense. They lead the league in scoring defense and all that. We've seen that throughout the year. So if you're Malone, you've come back and won these games before, and you still have a good chance in this game.
Yeah, like you mentioned, despite this deficit, I think Malone is definitely battle-tested, and they've proven time and time again that they can come back from being down double digits. And their defense, defense wins championships.
Defense wins championships.
This Malone team, who's had good defense all year long, I think that they can really lean on that, especially in this third quarter. And like you mentioned, Northwood having a sort of sluggish third quarter in their semifinal game.
Yep.
If Malone can lock down and get some turnovers and create chances off those turnovers, I think the first 5 minutes of this third period
we always talk about
a little bit different.
It's a very common thing for people to say in general, but there's a reason we say it, because it is true. It's going to be a big stretch here. Because even the other day we talked about Walsh needing a good 5 minutes. They didn't have a great 5 minutes in that stretch, but they actually kind of settled down and got back into the game. And then that's when they really, shortly after that 5 minutes in the third quarter, is when they made their run and got back into the game. But again, Malone was down by 15 at halftime to Wesleyan the other day. Obviously, home against Wesleyan versus on the road at Northwood are two vastly different things.
Yeah.
But the point is that it's still doable for them, especially, again, Northwood had a 22-point lead, a 32-point lead early in the third quarter, and that got down all the way to 11 against Walsh.
Yep.
Two different style of play, obviously, as well, but we will see. Obviously, Oliver's done a nice job in that half, but somebody else has got to step up. They can't rely on Kaufman. I don't know how healthy Hunt is. She did end up knocking down the only 3 for the Pioneers in that half. She has 5, but somebody's going to have to step up for Malone in this second half. We'll take another timeout here. We'll come back, and we'll actually look at those scores from around the region, and we'll get ready for the second half here. You're watching the GMAC Women's Basketball Championship on Flo College.
When I started at Northwood University in January of 1996, I came in as the head athletic trainer. And Pat was the head football coach at the time. And when the team would go out to practice and come back from practice, there was a little sign, it was about 1 foot by 1 foot, that said "Go Mad" on it. And everybody would touch it on the way out, and everybody would touch it on the way in. And so I felt compelled to ask Pat at the time, hey, what is this "Go Mad" stuff? What is that all about? He said, DC, if I tell you, I got to kill you. Fast forward a few years, and finally one of the players on the team told me, said, Andy, it stands for Go Make a Difference. I went back to Pat and I said, hey, this Go Mad thing has been very influential in my life, makes it bigger than just a sport. It's a mantra for their lives. Can we make this bigger than just football? And he gave us that permission, luckily that year, because later in 2015 is when we lost him, unfortunately. Since then, we've been doing Go Mad Day, and that's one day of a goal of 1,500 hours of community service in Pat's honor. And so that's really where this kind of started, and how the Go Mad mantra moved from football to all of Northwood.
Oh, it's great. As a fraternity, we volunteer a lot. This is always one of our favorites. You know, we get to partner up with the school and show everyone what it's like to, you know, be a model Timberwolf and a Kappa Sigma. So there's a lot of college towns that the college just exists in the town. Northwood really takes time to get rooted in the community, and I feel like this helps.
I worked with Coach Rietma when he was the football coach, and so I have some lived experience with him. And just really trying to emulate what he instilled in our football program and now in the greater Northwood community. Today we're just cleaning up the yard. This is an individual that's undergoing care for cancer, which again, Coach Rietma having had cancer, just think it's a really cool correlation. My mom had cancer and people came and did her leave, so that's part of the reason that I picked this, was because it's a direct linkage to an event that occurred in my life, and also the interaction with Coach Rietma. I can't say enough good things about being able to make this a good partnership between the city and our Timberwolves.
We are at Cozy Cats Cafe, Sanford, Michigan. There are lots and lots of trees. It's a beautiful property, but it was really overgrown. These wonderful volunteers from Northwood are helping us to kind of clean up the outside property here. It's wonderful that we could reach out to the folks at Northwood, that these guys were, you know, willing to come out and help the community and help to make this a big success.
We certainly would encourage anybody to get involved with Go Mad Day, specifically here on campus. We want to teach our students personal responsibility, and we hear that an awful lot. We want our students and our student athletes to go make a difference, not just on the field or on the court. This is in their everyday life, making a difference with the impact they have in their careers as a family. There's just so many opportunities for people to get involved on different kind of levels, and yeah, we just highly encourage people to jump on board and join us, and it's just a great day to help make a difference in people's lives and celebrate the legacy of Pat Rietma.
When I started at Northwood University in January of 1996, I came in as the head athletic trainer, and Pat was...
Back here in Midland, it's 36-24, Northwood on top. I bet I'm going to say that our third quarter performance the other day is being mentioned right now in that Northwood women's basketball locker room.
Absolutely.
As we speak. The other games in the region, so far it's been a very chalky postseason in Midwest region women's basketball. In the GLIAC, all four of the top four seeds won their opening round games, and their first semifinal today is already over. And unsurprisingly, the juggernaut that is Grand Valley demolishes Northern Michigan 66-38 in the opening round in that game. So they will host the championship game against the winner of Wayne State and Ferris State, which is coming up shortly. In the GLVC, top-seeded Missouri St. Louis got a win today. They're through to the finals. They defeated Lewis 66-59. They will play the winner of Drury and Maryville. Maryville is the last team out in the latest regional rankings. Now, unfortunately for the GLVC, this year their rankings have been way down, and they have been statistically the weakest team in the region. The region of the three conferences, they are statistically the weakest. So Maryville has an outstanding overall record, but they were still behind even Michigan Tech, who is now 14-12. So Maryville needs to win today to have a chance. The team that's cheering for Drury to win today is Thomas More. the GMAC's 8th seed, because they were number 8 in the region this week. They lost their opening round game. But so far there's been no bid stealers, and now we have 4 finalists between these two teams right here, and UMSL and Grand Valley. They were all ranked in the top 7 last week. So none of those teams are going to steal a bid from somebody. You always see a random 6 seed come up and steal a bid from a team that was expecting to go. But right now, there's been no bid stealers, and the only one that could possibly do it would be Drury or Maryville.
Yep.
We got our score bot fixed at halftime. If you guys want to know the magic behind how we fix things, it is incredible. Luke Starkey's a super talented guy. He did this thing where he unplugged it and plugged it back in and then started to work.
Genius.
So, I mean, it really takes an intellect of a rare quality to come up with that sort of stuff. But he got it working, and hopefully we can get through the last 20 minutes here with it working the rest of the game. Northwood looking for its first tournament championship in program history. This is their first appearance in the championship in a tournament on the men's or women's side in school history. Malone has been one of the best programs in the GMAC for dating back to early days in the GMAC. So here we go, second half underway. Nice move inside. Good start to the second half as Kaufman caught it, went right around Grace Eisenhath and scored 36-26.
I would expect this pressure from Malone to try to create some turnovers.
So dating back to the end of the last half, that's 6 straight now for Malone after Northwood went up 36-20. And again, much like the last day, start of the second half, Malone really forced the ball to Kaufman. Here's Colnitis, St. John. It's 3 on the way. No. Maeve has not shot it great from 3 of late, but she's also one of those players that if she makes one, it can suddenly get very flammable.
Mm-hmm.
Her and Bowers are the same way in that sense. Here's Hunt. Hunt in the corner now. Baseline jumper is up and good for Krupa. 8 straight points for Malone dating back to the last half, and it's now an 8-point lead, 36-28. St. John loses the handle, out of bounds. It goes back to Malone. Well, we've seen both Northwood have leads and see the other team make a run, and we've seen Malone make runs, so nothing right now is surprising about this game getting back close again here.
Yep.
Hunt in the corner. She's been good from outside, but no. Offensive rebound. Good on the foul. St. John was late trying to get that rebound. Oliver gets the rebound, puts it back up and in. She'll go to the line to try and complete the 3-point play.
Oliver having a fantastic game thus far.
And Autumn Hunter wasting no time. She's going to take that timeout right now. It's a 30 that becomes a full. We'll take it as well. 10 straight points for the Pioneers dating back to the first half. We'll take a timeout. You're watching GMAC Tournament Championship game on Flo College. Malone, 10 straight points, dating back to the end of the third quarter. Northwood's last field goal came with 2:46 to go in the second, so they are approaching 5 minutes without a basket at this point. And Oliver will try to complete the three-point play, which she misses. Rebound to St. John with Eisenath, with St. John now running the point. And what we saw yesterday, too, was that the Malone defense really stepped up in the second half. Early when they were trying to get the lead. St. John threw it off the leg. It's going to be a jump ball possession arrow.
Northwood just looks a little bit discombobulated.
Yep, it's a little, honestly, I'd say this is eerily similar to the start Malone had yesterday in the second half as well.
Yep.
Holmes, Eisenhalf, picks up her dribble. Now there's 3 on the clock. St. John's going to have to do something. Throws up a wild shot, offensive foul. That's Maeve's third foul. That's a big call right there. Maeve's going to go to the bench. Maeve had a little bit more time. I think she thought the clock was at 1. There was an extra pass to be made there, and at least not having to fire it at the rim while falling down. And now it's a 6-point lead. We'll see how long St. John sits on the bench with those 3 fouls. Morodo looking to go inside, needs some help. To Hunt. Hunt in the corner to Morodo. They're trying to post up Oliver, who's got the height advantage on Kolnitis. Here's Oliver. She's been the star today for the Pioneers. To her right, to the basket. It's going to be a foul on Kolnitis. Well, we talk about how Northwood plays zone and doesn't get in foul trouble, but the first 3 fouls of the third quarter are all on Northwood. And now Malone trying to extend this 10-0 run. Malone has outscored Northwood 6-0 in the quarter. Northwood's only got off 1 field goal thus far. Oliver's free throw's no good. She's missed her last 2. Unusual. She's an 80% foul shooter on the season. Second one is good. Krupa checks in for the Pioneers. She will take Oliver's spot. Stemmer gets the inbound. Passes to Kiefer. Kiefer was looking for Holmes there, couldn't get it to her. Now Kiefer will settle things down. Crossover dribble, loses the handle. Needs some help now. Gets it to Holmes on the baseline. Holmes is going to the rim, and she travels. Northwood cannot even get off a shot right now on the offensive end. And full credit to Malone. They have stepped it up big time on the defensive end, and the Timberwolves are struggling to respond right now.
Yes, they have, and that was something that I talked about at halftime. This Malone team can rely on their defense to cut into leads, and that's exactly what has happened.
Hunt now goes up top to Morodo. Morodo to her left. Trying to go to the basket. Tough lefty leaner. No good. Rebound to Kiefer for Northwood. Kiefer will bring over the line. She gets in the paint. Tried to go inside to Eisenath, but it's read beautifully. Northwood cannot. And then Kiefer with a steal. Then lays it in. I was about to say Northwood can't get a shot off without turning it over, but Malone gives it right back to them, and the lead is back to 7.
It's the perfect plus-minus for Kiefer right there.
Exactly. 38-31, 6:40 to go in the third. Inside to Coffin, tough catch. Gets it to fall off the spin. And then the inbound pass goes right through Stemmer's hand, but then the Pioneers throw it back away. Back-to-back turnovers. Eisenach threw that inbound pass to Stemmer at about 100 miles an hour, and it also happened to be right at the moment Stemmer took a brief look to see where the defender was. But unfortunately, Malone got excited and thought they were going to get a basket out of it and then threw it away. 38-33, Northwood on top, 6:26 to go in the third. Inbounds goes to Stemmer. Stemmer gets over the line. Dribbles to her left. They made it tough sledding to get the ball to Leah Holmes and have her go score in this half. Holmes up top. Kiefer to her right. Gets in the paint, gets her knocked away again. Kari pretty casual in there as those hands are coming around the ball, and even the last couple games, she's gotten the ball knocked out of her hands a lot. 8 on the shot clock. Malone has outscored Northwood 9-2 in this second half. Long inbound goes to Miller. Miller picked up her dribble right away, which was not smart. Now in the corner, McNeely, a 3 on the way. No. Stemmer gets the offensive rebound.
Kate Stemmer
Stemmer with
finding herself in the paint recently.
Stemmer, offensive rebound, gets a foul on Natalie Armstrong. Stemmer will inbound. Long inbounds goes to Holmes. Can Leah get something going here? She picks up her dribble, needs some help. Gets it to Miller. Miller to Stemmer. Inside to Holmes, and then the foul on the displacement.
We've seen that a lot.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty easy call in the pass in the air, but that foul goes against Hunt. She's going to check out. Miller will return. And it's Miller on Miller in the post in this moment. Inbounds goes to Kiefer. Kiefer drives baseline. Spins back to her left. Needs some help. Step through lefty, leaner off the glass. No good. Rebound to the Pioneers. Ruffin. Ruffin hasn't played much today, but she got that rebound right there. In fact, this is her first appearance today. Baseline shot is up and no good on the drop step that time by Oliver. Ella Miller with the rebound. Stemmer in the corner to McNeely. McNeely to Kiefer. Kiefer still with it. In the corner to Miller. Miller inside to Holmes. Holmes goes around the rim. Layup is no good. Northwood is now 1 for 5 in the floor in the second half. And Kiefer with a reach in, but a foul. Timeout on the floor. We'll take it as well. Good. We talked about the opening 5 minutes, Mac. What did we see?
Exactly what
Malone
we talked
needed
about.
to do to get back in this game. Northwood still leads by 5. 4:51 to go in the third. You're watching GMAC basketball on Flo College.
And their volunteers are hosting the 2025-2026 Great Midwest Women's Basketball Championship Tournament. Good luck to all of today's participants.
We're back here in Midland. Malone has held Northwood to 1 of 5 from the floor. Well, they have gone 4 for 7, and they've taken 7 points off that 12-point halftime lead. And the advantage is 5 here. Northwood in the zone. St. John is back on the floor for Northwood. Armstrong inside. Kaufman catches. Good enough foul!
Incredible.
If Ella Miller's going to go for the steal there, she's got to go for it. She kind of half did it and then just let Kaufman catch it, and that's going to be an easy bucket. Kaufman will try to cut the lead to 2 here. Great finish by Kaufman. She now leads all scorers with 13, and she's come alive in the second half, as she did yesterday. Again, eerily similar. And this has kind of been the theme of this Malone run in the GMAC tournament.
Yep.
Sluggish in the first half, a run in the second half. Eisnath, corner, Kolnitis. Colnitis to Eisenhath, who lost the ball but got it. Now Colnitis in the corner, inside to Holmes. Northwood trying to get their star post player going here. She is, and then there's a reach-in foul on Miller. Ayla Miller gets the foul. Third on the team. Malone is in the bonus already in this half. St. John will inbound. Inbounds goes to Eisenhath. Eisenhath going to work on. Shot is up off the glass, no good. Kaufman, that's a tough shot. Good defense again. Story of the second half has been the Malone defense. In the corner, Oliver. Armstrong. Malone looking to tie the game here. Kaufman to the basket. Tough shot through Leah Holmes. Loose ball on the floor. Oliver puts it up. No! Rebound to Leah Holmes. Two really good looks for the Pioneers trying to tie the game. Didn't get either one to fall. Northwood back with it. It's an offensive foul, and that's going to be Maeve St. John's fourth foul. Big, big call right there. Stemmer's going to check out.
Malone set that up beautifully, though.
Yep. The actual, I think if you're the Northwood fans, you're arguing that the body contact before the actual charge would have been the foul. Once the shoulder was lowered, 100% of a charge. And if you're not going to call the body contact before it, it's the right call. 38-36. Northwood in an interesting situation with the player of the year with 4 fouls. With 3:32 to go in the third. Hunt's open for 3 to take the lead. No, rebound to Lexi Bowers, but she loses the handle. Armstrong, loose ball on the floor. It's going to be a jump ball. Possession remains with Malone. Right now, Malone is making the little things happen. They're getting loose balls. They're creating deflections. They're getting on the floor. And they have outscored Northwood 12-2 in the third. Again, these two teams have done this exact same thing throughout this tournament. Malone in the paint. It's Kaufman, and we are tied. 14-2 in the third quarter. It's been all Malone. Holmes faces the basket. Baseline shot is up. No good. Rebound to Kaufman. Northwood can't buy a bucket. In the corner, bad pass, turnover. Looking for Hunt in the corner. Armstrong had Hunt in the corner. It was going to be a good look at a 3. Now the other thing that we've seen in this tournament here is that Northwood led big in the first half against Ashland. Ashland came all the way back, took a 6-point lead in the third quarter. And then Northwood immediately responded and dominated the fourth quarter to win. But Northwood, that was with Maeve St. John not having 4 fouls. Bowers, look at a 3. Good! That's a big make for Lexi Bowers. Her first 3 of the game is a big one and puts Northwood back on top by 3.
One of the best 3-point shooters on the team.
Miller thought about the 3 on the other end. Now she'll pull up on the baseline short, and that's going to be a loose ball foul on Kaufman going to the basket. Kaufman and Ella Miller ran into each other, and Kaufman's a little gingerly getting up. She's going to go to the bench. Hopefully she's okay. That's her third foul also. So besides the fact she's a little banged up, it's also her third foul, so probably a good time to give her a rest anyway. Inbounds goes to Kiefer. Kiefer's going to dribble up against Hunt and bring it over the line. Northwood by 3. Malin McNeely, inside to Holmes. Nice catch. Tough pass. Holmes in the paint to Miller in the corner. Miller backing down in the paint. Drop steps. Goes up top to Kiefer. Kiefer to her right. And then there's going to be a reach-in foul. Again, we talk about Ella Miller. She's so big and strong. She does not want to go score in those situations. She had a height advantage there and didn't take advantage of it.
And that might be what Leah might be talking to her right now.
Kiefer does get fouled as the shot clock is running down. She will have 2 free throws. So that is the 5th foul on Malone. First one is up and good. She'll have 1 more. Kiefer's second one is good. Kiefer with 6 points off the bench today, 43-38. So that's 5 straight for Northwood after the Pioneers had tied it at 38. In the corner, good look at a three. Air ball that time, however, by Barber. Rebound to Kiefer for Northwood. Here's Jackson, driving baseline to Holmes. Kiefer, crossover dribble, backing down, around the rim, up and under, misses the layup. Rebound
Great
Oliver.
look.
Good look, pretty good move, but also good contest right at the last second. Made that a tougher shot. 1:30 to go in the period. Armstrong has it on the wing. In the corner to Hunt. Up top, this is Oliver. Oliver to Hunt. Hunt. Here's Oliver again to her left. Spins back to right. Hook shot in the paint is up. In and out, no good. Rebound to Miller for Northwood. That's Ella's 6th rebound in the game. Shares team high honors with Eisenach. Kiefer. To Jackson. Back to Kiefer. Now Miller. Miller inside to Holmes. Nice high-low action. Holmes lays it in. Holmes' first bucket since the first half. The lead is back to 7, and the pass is stolen by Kiefer. Kiefer goes to the basket, lays it up, no, but she draws the foul. Again, we have seen this over and over this season where Northwood goes on a huge lead, and then they give up a lead, and Northwood is resilient, and they always bounce right back.
It's grit.
And now a 7-0 run for Northwood to get the lead back to 7 with Kari Kiefer going to the line for 2. Kiefer's free throw up and good. 7 points for Kiefer. 5 rebounds, 3 steals. Again, she's just been better and better, and she's going to be a star for the Timberwolves in the future.
And especially with the situation that we have now with Maeve on the bench, they need production from their other guards.
A 9-0 run for Northwood, back up by 9 with 35 seconds to go in the quarter. Here's Hunt to her right, spins back to her left. And it's going to be a foul on the drive on Eisenach, her second. That's going to send Hunt back to the foul line. Hunt doesn't shoot a lot of free throws, but she made 2 huge ones yesterday. Hunt, even going, I think she was 3 for 4 yesterday. She had only shot 16 free throws the entire season, even after those 2 big makes at the end of the game yesterday. Free throw's good. She'll have 1 more. Hunt is a spot-up perimeter threat. Doesn't go to the basket very much, but she's done it decently this weekend and created some free throw attempts.
Which is probably why she hasn't been to the line very much.
Exactly. Northwood will have the final shot of the quarter, leading by 8 with 20 seconds remaining. McNeely to Bowers. Corner, Kiefer. Thought about the 3, but we'll settle things down. There's too much time on the clock for her to shoot that 3. 9 on the clock. Miller lobs inside to Holmes. Tough catch for Leah. Gets it back to McNeely. 3-pointer at the buzzer. Good! Malone McNeely with a huge make at the buzzer. I haven't said it all year. All she does is make big shots. That's a big shot for Malone McNeely. We're going to the 4th. Northwood led by 16 late in the second. Then it was tied at 38. They finished the quarter on a 12-1 run. They now lead 50-39, heading to the 4th. You are watching the GMAC Women's Basketball Championship on Flo College. 50-39. We're 10 minutes away from crowning a GMAC champion. When Maeve St. John went out of the game, the Pioneers scored on the first possession after that to tie the game at 38. And from that point on, it was a 12-1 run to finish the quarter for Northwood. And now they lead by 11 with 9:55 to go. McNeely to Miller. Miller, handoff to Kiefer. Kiefer, hesitation dribble, trying to get to the paint. Backing down, needs to get it out of there. Does get it to Miller, it's on the shot clock. Miller. Tough catch inside, and that's going to be a foul on Kaufman, and that's Kaufman's fourth. So now, the best player on each side has 4 fouls. How will Coach Ikas handle that? They're going to bring her out for now. So the top players on each side, Maeve St. John for Northwood, Aaron Kaufman for Maeve St. John for Northwood, Aaron Kaufman for Malone, each with 4 fouls with 9:36 to go. Inbounds goes to Bowers in the corner. McNeely. Holmes. Looking to go to work. Goes to her right, to the basket. Lays it up and in! Leah Holmes!
She is just so strong.
Yep. It's a 13-point Northwood lead. 9:14 to go again. Here's Oliver. Oliver in the corner to Hunt. Hunt's their primary scorer on the floor right now. Oliver's had a great game today. Moroto's up top for 3. Needs it. No. Rebound to Leah Holmes. Kari Kiefer has been the point guard in this run. She has not played a ton of point this year, but she's done a nice job with it. Kiefer, as soon as I say that, she almost turns it over, but she doesn't. And it's going to be a jump ball, and she does turn it over as the Pioneers get the jump ball, and possession arrow goes to Malone. (52-39). Randulik will check back in and will take Moroto's spot for the Pioneers. Now we're just waiting to see when the 2 coaches are going to bring back their stars here in this final quarter with 4 fouls.
And if they don't, Malone needs to find a way without their star to generate some offense.
Here's Miller going up against Holmes. Backs down. Tough move. Needs some help. Now Miller has it again. Miller backing down. Tough shot blocked by Leah Holmes off of Miller. It goes back to the Timberwolves.
The best shot blocker there is.
Leah Holmes. It's her first one today. She's the school record holder for block shots in a career as a sophomore. 52-39, 8:16 to go. Kiefer to McNeely. McNeely lobs it into Holmes. Tough catch. Better finish! Leah Holmes now with 15, leading Northwood. Miller had the pack. Puts it up and in.
It's a good response from Malone.
Malone actually out Northwood there where they went super quick down the floor to get an easy bucket. 54-41. That's what Northwood has done so well in this tournament. Here's Holmes again, facing the basket. Leah to her right. All the way around the rim, lays it in!
One after another.
She's your tournament MVP if Northwood finds a way to hold on to this 15-point lead with 7:30 to go. Randulik in the corner. High-low action. Here's Oliver. Dribbles to her left. Face-up jumper. Over Holmes, knocks it down.
That's someone on this Malone offense that has been good all day. They need to lean more on Oliver.
She's got 15. Only trailing Kaufman with 16. McNeely travels. That was unusual. I didn't even think that was possible in there, but McNeely did travel. Well, the first coach to bring their star back is Autumn Hunter. Maeve St. John is back on the floor with 4 fouls. I'd say as much as anything is that Kari Kiefer probably needed a break there. 7 minutes to go, Northwood by 13.
Kaufman is also back in the game as well.
Actually, you know what? I was just going to say, I'm looking at my floor like both stars are back on the floor here. Hunter or Hunt, excuse me. Oliver to the basket. Tough shot, gets it to go over Leah Holmes. So 4 straight for Oliver, gets Malone back to within 11 with 6:36 to go. St. John in the paint to Miller. Inside to Eisenhath. Eisenhath trying to go to work. Loses the handle. It's a reach-in foul on Randulik. There's definitely a moment where Kaufman looked as heard the whistle, and you could see there's the one where it's like, uh-oh, but it was not on her. St. John will inbound. Inbounds goes to Ella Miller. Miller back to St. John. St. John with it on the perimeter. 10 on the shot clock. She's going to get a ball screen. Needs some help. St. John now steps into a 3. No! And it's going to be another one of those box out fouls here where I think that's Oliver. It is Oliver. She had great position, but again, didn't go after the ball. We've seen that call all weekend against both sides. Oliver's going to check out as Barber returns for Malone. 6:08 to go. Kolnitis in the corner. Lost the handle. Needs some help. Gets it into Eisenhath, who needs some help. Now Miller has it. Northwood will settle things down, but there's only 6 on the shot clock now. Miller has got to shoot a 15-footer. Misses. Rebound is loose on the floor. Kolnitis comes out of there, and Northwood gets the timeout. It's a 30-second that becomes a media, so we will take it as well. 5:44 to go. The final media timeout. Northwood by 11 with the ball. You're watching the GMAC Women's Basketball Championship on Flo College.
In every generation, there are those who wait for change and those who drive it. At Northwood University, we believe freedom isn't just a right, it's a responsibility. Because when we are free, we create, we lead, we thrive. Here, students aren't simply told what's possible, they discover it. They learn that freedom of thought is only fulfilled through enterprise, and that earned success is the truest measure of achievement. At Northwood, business isn't a game of greed. It's a force for good, for families, for communities, for a freer world. Our graduates turn freedom into progress, and they remind us when we are free, we are responsible, resilient, and unstoppable. America needs more creators, more dreamers, more doers. America needs more Northwood University graduates.
We're back here in Midland. 5:44 to go. Malone trailed by 16 in the first half, came all the way back to tied at 38. But Malone has never led in this game. Inbounds goes to Kiefer, who's back in. Kiefer inside to Holmes, who's back in. Holmes spins back, hook shot in the paint, short that time. Hunt, good defense, and she gets the rebound. 5:35 to go. Northwood in that familiar zone. Here's Hunt. Goes inside to Kaufman. Kaufman, it's going to be a foul on Eisenhath. Easy call that time.
Yep.
Bowers returns for Northwood. 11-point lead, 5:22 to go. Stemmer will return and give St. John a quick break here. Inbounds goes to Randulik. Northwood in a man-to-man this time. Oliver, paint shot and up in the paint. No good that time for Randulik. Really good look. Didn't get it to fall, however. Leah Holmes with her 6th rebound of the game. And frankly, this is pretty much the lineup that Northwood had when they went on this big run here.
Yep.
Holmes. She wants to go to work on Hunt. Backs down, spins to her left. Block! Great defense that time by Kaufman. That time she knew that pass was coming. And then Kaufman throws it away, trying to go ahead of the pack. Good read. Actually, it was going to be Bowers or Kiefer that was going to get that steal. Kiefer's the one that ends up with the ball. Under 5 minutes remaining. Bad pass by Eisenhath. Way too high going to Holmes. It's a turnover for Northwood. They're 16th of the game. Hunt in the corner trying to get a big shot, and she does!
This is what Malone does. They turn their defense into offense.
That was a vital make for Hunt. Her second three of the game. Also just the second three of the game for Malone in general. It's a 30-second timeout, so we will stay here this time. Hunt now with 9 points. She's third on the team in scoring. Oliver with 17. Kaufman with 16. Hunt with 9. Holmes with 17 for Northwood. St. John with 11. Kiefer with 8. Who's going to step up in the final 4:25? St. John is back in for Northwood. I think both sides would like to keep their stars on the floor for the rest of the game, a.k.a. don't commit a foul, either one of you two. Inbounds goes to Kiefer. Kiefer's going to get double teamed. Finds Miller. Miller settles things down. St. John is in trouble. Nobody's running the ball, but Kiefer does. 10 on the shot clock. Can the freshman make something happen? Kiefer with 5 on the clock. Kiefer, step through, up, under, lays it in! Step through Barber there, who didn't keep her out of that paint there. 10-point lead, 3:51 to go.
That is the type of move that you wouldn't see a freshman make.
And then a bad pass afterwards by Randulik. It's a turnover. It's Malone's 13th turnover of the day. That's pretty good against the zone trapping defense of Northwood, but that's a big one right there. Northwood now with a 10-point lead. 3:45 to go. And now we're getting to the point where all these possessions are getting big. Northwood does not need to rush here, but you also don't want to be complacent and just wait till 2 on the clock to try and fire something up. Now there's 10 on the clock. The offense gets rolling. St. John, crossover dribble. 3 on the way. Way off on that. It's going to be a jump ball, and that possession keeps it with Northwood. However, there's only 2.4 seconds on the shot clock. So if anything, I think that's now. This is the kind of moment where you can really break a team's back when you've done great defense, and now they've got to fire something up with 2.4 seconds left. If Northwood were to score here, it would be a tough one. But the jump ball in that situation gives you the possession arrow back, and they're in a tough spot to score. Kiefer gets it, 1 on the clock, puts it up, no. Kaufman with the rebound. So now you got the possession arrow and you got the stop. 10-point lead, 3:07 to go in the game. Armstrong in the corner, Hunt. Kaufman faces the basket, going against Hunt. Tough shot, no good. Rebound, Leah Holmes. Leah Holmes' presence is just so tough, even for a great player like Kaufman. St. John dribbling around, will waste some time here. 2:45 to go. Bowers to her left, gets in the paint, spins back, throws it up off the glass, no good. Not a bad idea. Might have been a little quick on that drive right there, but nonetheless, 2:30 to go. Here's Melissa Geyer in Oliver in the paint. No, she's got Holmes on her. Tough shot, gets it to go. Good ball fake. Holmes thought she was going to pass it, and Oliver needed that one. 58-50, 2:10 to go in the game.
Malone probably looking to get a huge stop here.
Bowers with it. Bowers to her right. Picks up her dribble. Again, needs some help. Kiefer with it. 9 on the clock. Kiefer Gets in the paint. Tough lefty leaner. No. Miller gets the rebound and is fouled with 7/10 of the second remaining on the shot clock.
She had great position.
What happens in that situation, however, is like you've got Northwood players. You don't want to leave Holmes. You don't want to leave St. John. You don't want to leave Bowers in the corner because she can make a shot. And it just means that your help side is so limited that it means a player like Ella Miller could be standing underneath the basket and essentially grab a free rebound with nobody around her. Miller will have 2 free throws here. First one up, good. This would make it a 4-possession game with 1:47 to go. Got it. 2 big makes for Ella Miller, 60-50, 1:45 remaining. Armstrong with it. She brings it over the line. In the corner, 3 on the way, air ball. That time by Geyser. Oliver goes to the basket. It's going to be a jump ball. And that's where that possession arrow a moment ago helps Malone. They keep the ball here with 1:31 to go.
This is a great read by Kari Kiefer, though.
Read
that play.
Yes, did keep that from potentially being an easy putback layup. 60-50, 1:31 remaining. Armstrong will inbound. Gets it in to Oliver. Oliver to her right. Hunt on the wing. 3, good! Boy, that was... McNeely left her a millimeter of space, but that millimeter was enough. Stemmer with it. 1:16 to go. 7-point Northwood lead. Kiefer, Stemmer, inside to Eisenhath. Offensive foul on Grace Eisenhath. That's her 4th. They just, anyway. Malone gets the ball back. 1:06 to go. Katie Kaufman, who has, no, excuse me, no, that's not Katie Kaufman. That's Barber who's checked in. 1:06 to go. Northwood by 7. And almost stolen. Now Malone's got to get it over the court, and they're not going to do it. The trap in the backcourt.
Incredible.
As soon as they inbounded that, I don't think Malone had seen it in a bit. And
they didn't know either.
They did not see it coming, and it results in a turnover. Even if you just make them run some clock here, because the clock is Northwood's friend right now. 56.5 seconds remaining.
That was a big stop.
Ella Miller will inbound for Northwood. Gets it into Kiefer. Almost over and back. That was not good timing on that pass. Kiefer with it. Miller in the corner. Trapping defense all over the court. St. John with 7 on the clock. 6 on the clock. St. John. Step through. Inside Holmes. Little shot up is good! Great execution! Great execution. Holmes with a jumper as the shot clock's winding down. 62-53. Holmes now shares game high honors with 19 with Oliver. Malone will advance the ball here.
It was a great find. Maeve St. John with the shot clock winding down. All eyes on Maeve St. John and find the open player.
And the way they were aggressively trapping. Sometimes I think Maeve gets out on the shot clock and she starts backing up. That time she was aggressively tacking the rim. So when you make that pass to the open player with 2 seconds on the shot clock, your leading scorer in this tournament, good things will happen.
Yeah.
And Holmes' bucket makes it 62-53. Ron Beacom, our PA, talking about the winner officially making the tournament, but actually all of these both of these teams are going to be comfortably in at this point, like we mentioned. They're both in the top 6.
And most likely might have to face each other again.
What might happen, the other thing, too, is that they might move a spot or two when it comes to that. But as of right now, they have been – Inkblot Sports is a great resource for us at Division II. They've had it Northwood 3, Malone 6, even before the brackets came out, the official regional announcements. So essentially for 3+ weeks, probably 4 weeks now, these two have been in the spots they've been in. They could change based on this tournament, but it's going to be a lob. Tough catch to Hunt. Hunt's going to shoot a 3. Blocked by Kiefer! What a block by the freshman! Now Stemmer with it. They're going to start fouling. Stemmer throws a wild pass. It's deflected out of bounds. It'll be Northwood ball. I'll say Maeve St. John's probably going to get back on the floor immediately because she's the best free throw shooter. Stemmer has not been to the foul line much this year. 2 for 4 the entire season. The howling from led by Maeve St. John's dad is starting to go here. 24.6 seconds remaining. Inbounds goes to St. John. And then she's fouled. That's the 5th foul. I mean, Malone had to foul there. Their only slim chance is to get the ball back and hope Maeve misses these 2 free throws. First one is up and no good off the back iron. A rare miss for the 90% foul shooter.
Yep.
She's now 3 for 4 from the line tonight. Trying to make it an 11-point lead. Missed them both. Wow. I just talked that right into happening. I said your only chance was for the
We've done that too many times.
Yeah. To foul Maeve and hope you get 2 misses. Okay, Malone is now, I believe Malone is either has 1 timeout or they're out. This is a 30-second timeout. They used they are out. That was their last timeout. 19.5 seconds remaining. Malone is going to need some help from Northwood and to make some special plays in these last 20 seconds of the game. Oliver with 19 to lead the way for Malone. Kaufman with 16 points and 8 rebounds. Holmes leads Northwood with 19. St. John with 11. Kari Kiefer, who's had an outstanding tournament. 10.6 rebounds, 4 steals off the bench. What does Coach Ikas have in her sleeve here for these last 19.5? They got to find something quick here. It's going to be a lob for Kaufman. Good catch by Kaufman. Spins back to her tough shot. No. Leah Holmes with the rebound. Saves it to Kiefer. And she's going to be fouled. Pretty good execution, but Kaufman could not quite finish that shot. Krupa gets the foul. It's going to send Kari Kiefer to the foul line. Coincidentally, Northwood is setting a school record for free throw percentage this year. Today they're 13 for 16, and the biggest reason they're setting that school record for free throw percentage of the team this season is the person who's missed 2 of the 3 free throws.
Yeah.
Kiefer, good. 10-point lead, 13.2 seconds remaining. Malone is out of timeouts. Second one, good. 64-54. Armstrong will bring it over the line. 9 seconds. Krupa for 3, no. Rebound, Kari Kiefer. That's going to do it. The Timberwolves are the 2026 GMAC Women's Basketball Tournament champions. They won the regular season. They won the tournament. They are outright champs. 64-53. I think this game is a microcosm of both of these teams. Malone, bad first half. Malone fights back in the second half. But Northwood, throughout the year, even when the other teams have made a run, have always shown resiliency.
Always found a way.
Today, that resiliency included a comeback after Malone came back to tie the game with their star player with 4 fouls. Kari Kiefer, the backup players, make the key run to give Northwood the win down the stretch to win their first GMAC championship in school history. What we're going to do is we're going to leave the broadcast going for the awards ceremony. We're going to plug a mic in. Hopefully you can hear a little bit better so you can hear the presentations of everything coming up here in a moment. Mac, I think this will be the last time we broadcast a game this year. Thanks for everything, man. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I've had a blast, so thanks for having me and having me back.
Yeah, and I'll see you all spring at games.
So true.
Even if we're not doing play-by-play.
I'll be all over the place.
Yes, exactly. So, all right, we will be here for the award presentation. Stick around and watch that as we turn our attention to midcourt for the awards presentation for the 2026 GMAC Women's Basketball Champion Northwood Timberwolves.
Women's basketball champions, the Northwood Timberwolves. So at this time, we would now like to recognize each member of the championship team with their individual replica of this year's trophy. When you hear your name, please come up and receive your award. First, number 13, May St. John.